staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to the Ask the Experts show with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Enjoy being educated in such topics as personal injury law, community association law, family law, bankruptcy law, along with health show topics like pain management, men's health, and dental implants. Now, sit back and enjoy today's Ask the Experts with host Steve-O.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. See, I am sick now. I'm a trooper. I'm doing this show because I love our guest, and I missed last week with her because I was sick. I have got the worst allergies ever, but she can talk for the both of us. There is no doubt. Let me introduce you to the Simon Group USA. Miss Phyllis Simon. Her and I
Hi, how
are
you
going to be doing tonight's show, and it's mostly going to be her.
Hey, Steve. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling better. How's your hand?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm sorry we missed out on last week, but it was just as well because I was a little out to space. I had my carpal tunnel surgery last Monday, which was supposed to be
Freddie
early
took a
in the
picture.
morning. Yeah, it was supposed to be early in the morning. They didn't do it until like mid-afternoon, and when I came here, I was in a way I was so glad that you weren't here. That I didn't have to do it. Danny says, my son Daniel, as everybody knows, who's my business partner, says my mother wouldn't give up. She's a workaholic. She's always working. So instead of taking the time off, but when Freddie said that, hey, listen, Steve's sick, I said, okay. He said next week. So tonight we're here.
Hey,
Just,
listen,
want to touch on a
Phyllis,
few things. Let's do a
if
couple
you
of
hear
recaps.
if you hear me
I hear you
sniffling,
now. Could you talk
if
up?
you hear me sniffling, I'm not doing cocaine.
Huh? Okay. So let's talk
Well,
about
first of all,
something. Huh?
tell everybody about your company.
All right. The Simon Group USA is a financial firm. We do investments and insurance. We help people have a life of significance, people that want to leave a legacy, people that don't want to run out of income, people that want to make sure that they have enough money to live a decent life, a life of significance. We try help them through their lifetime. We have different planning methods. The Simon Group has been around with 50 years worth of experience. I'm actually physically in business, 34 years in this specific company's business. But there's 50
Wait a
years.
minute, you're 35 years old.
Yes, I know. I started very young. They thought I was going to be a judge. Anyway, so what happened was that the next generation, who is my son Daniel, he got into the business 26 years ago. So he went through the brokerage firm's route, picked up a lot of information, fell in love with the stock market, and he, thank God, I don't want to give any kiboshes on anything, but he's done very well. He's got good insight. He watches what needs to be done, uses good old rules of thumb. The markets are not the way they used to be when you bought a blue chip stock and you held on to it for 40 years. The expression back then was, you buy a stock. But today, the expression is you don't get married to a stock. So things are different today. Today is a different type of mindset of people. So we talk about what we do, and we help everybody with their needs. Everybody has needs. Doesn't
Right.
matter. So that's what we do. And we touch on subject when I come and do the show. We talk about different things that interest different people. And I was just talking to Freddie a little while ago about, in all these years, I have met thousands of people, and no two people are the same.
Yes.
And the industry basically generalizes that's what they basically do. It's the same way when they make flu vaccines. It's the same way when they, make anything that they do, they generalize. So they make a product that they feel that it's good for everybody. So they change it around a little bit for this one, and a little bit for that one, and a little bit for this one. What I do, and Danny does, is that we know people have needs. So we help them with their planning for their life. Now, we're going to talk about everybody needs a starter plan. Everybody needs a middle or a maintenance plan. And then you need an end plan or a senior plan of not outliving your money. So the starter plans are usually for the 20-year-olds, the 20 to 30-year-olds, okay? And they start something with a small amount of money, and as they earn money, you keep adding more money to it. The middle plan is that you are making more money now that your career is advancing, and you're dumping in more, and then you need more things because your family's growing and whatever you need to do. And then you get to your older years, and you're in your later 50s, early 60s, and you're planning for the future retirement. And did you save enough to have? Did you protect yourself enough to have? For those of you that survived and lived, because many times you make plans, but the plans don't pan out. Something happens. So what we do is we try to protect those plans. And that's what financial planning is all about. Financial investments is all about. All this has to do with what is good for you and only you. So, Stephen, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay, I have, what, someone just texted me just
Ask.
now, and they want to know what the difference is in wealth management and financial planner.
Okay. They basically are the same. Financial planning is we sit down with you, we go over your assets and liabilities. We go over the income that you have. We help you with your budget. We don't budget you. I don't like to budget people because people can. We tried that years ago. I don't like to budget people because people are human. They're going to say, my car's going to be paid off next year. But in 2 years from now, they're going to go and get rid of that car and get a new car. And now they have another car payment again. So budgeting, we help them along with the budget, in other words, explaining that. Financial planning basically says, this is what you show us you have, and this is what you can put away. And what we're going to do is plan for you to be out of debt, plan to all your bills are paid on time, you have a good credit rating. And when we do the financial plan, we also look at all your goals. Wealth management is how we take those plans and we manage your money to grow and continue growing until the point comes is I'm retired. So there's no difference. It goes in line. Wealth management only means that we're trying to help you build your wealth, get you to that particular period in your life, and that you have enough money to enjoy the rest of your life.
Well, before you get to me, I have another question
Yeah.
that was just text from a listener. They want to know, is it harder to plan now with prices going up as much as they are, like gas, food, groceries, and even, I guess, building a house? All the prices, I guess they're saying, is it harder now for financial planning
No.
with all the prices going up?
No, because now is when you need it the most. Remember, inflation always comes along. All right? There isn't a period in our history of this country when there wasn't an inflationary period. There's always inflation. There could be reversed inflation or there can be advanced inflation. Reversed inflation means that, like what we were getting for the past several years, is practically no money in the bank on our savings. So you weren't making anything, and people telling me they're getting a 0.5% or 0.1% in their savings account. So that is reversed inflation. Now that we have inflation, which is due to more politically inclined than it is anything else, But
Right.
we were told that there were floods in the Midwest. That's why the price of meat went up and the groceries went up. I don't believe it because we have meat in different parts of the United States that were not flooded. So
Right.
at this point where I feel that the other countries that we buy our goods from, which we buy a lot of food from other countries, are raising their
Right.
prices, and they're all making money while we're all struggling. Now, this is a horrible thing. Biden cut down the whole gas line, price of gas. I hear cursing every single day from different people. What that man
No
has
kidding.
done, and even those that voted for him, I said, "Now you're satisfied, fine, you know." But you're gonna learn, you know. It's a terrible thing. But somebody mentioned something to me that's very, very strange. The enemy is from within. And many years ago, they said that they would get the United States from their youth. In other words, they would get to the youth. So they get these people to become educators, and they put them in our colleges, and they poison
Right.
our children with such garbage that people here are so ignorant that they don't understand what's really happening. And that's how the Nazis took over Germany, and that's how the Jews all supported him, and he killed them all. So you know what? People are very, very dumb, and I'm saying this on the radio, and I shouldn't be, but
No, you're telling
my
us
political
how you feel.
feelings are that everybody is allowed to think the way they want to think. We live in a free country, and we have that right. But don't tell me I can't think that way, or if I don't vote like you, that I'm a terrible person. And don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about or what I'm doing. I'm entitled to a difference of opinion. That's what a free country is all about. We're not in a communist country.
Amen.
And when you
Amen.
guys understand that and stop being so politically inclined and thinking that wonderful Democrats are the same ones from 50 years ago when you were a young kid, wake up and smell the real roses because they're not the same. Okay, so let's
Yay,
get on
Phyllis.
now with
Well, wait a minute, we gotta go to
talking
break.
about the economy. It's the best time now is to plan. And yes, it's going to be difficult. Why? What you used to pay $1.49 for a pound of whatever is now costing you $2.49 a pound.
Right.
So you learn to eat less. You have less waste. People buy a lot of stuff, and they throw away a lot of stuff. So only buy as much as you feel that you're going to need to keep your grocery bill lower. Stop buying junk food that tends to be very, very high in pricing. I'm being serious.
No,
Because
I
that's what
understand.
tends to be. It's all those chips. It's all the snacks that go with the chips. And learn to eat healthy, fresh fruits and vegetables. And guess what? You can make great snacks out of them. And the pricing isn't going to be that crazy. But you can always do financial
Phyllis,
planning.
we got to go to break. Give everybody your phone number.
Okay. Do you want me to tell them about the Simon Group?
It's
USA?
the Simon Group USA.
Give us a call, 954-599-1950, free consultation. And we'd love to hear from you. Again, 954-599-1950.
We're going to go to break. We'll be back. We're here with Phyllis Simon tonight. She's one of the senior partners of Simon Group USA. We'll be right back with more Ask the Experts.
Hi, this is Steve O with the Ask the Experts radio show. At the Simon Group, their goal is to actively help families, individuals, and business owners build their financial freedom. They have the skills, knowledge, and experience required to help meet the client's established goals. They understand their clients want a comfortable retirement, but that means different things to different people. And there are other goals that they can emerge along the way, from planning for a child's education to planning for a managing income in retirement. That's why the Simon Group offers a range of financial strategies and solutions to help in every step of the way. They work with you to gain confidence and stay flexible and prepared for your financial future. The Simon Group serves their clients in estate and investment solutions, insurance protection, income, stocks and bonds, retirement investments, and insurance. Contact the Simon Group for free financial planning appointment today at 954-599-1950. That's 954-599-1950.
We are back. This is the Ask the Expert show on every Monday and Thursday night from 6 to 7. We have a very special guest tonight. It's one of my favorite shows to do. Phyllis Simon. And she's doing the show tonight without her partner, her son, Daniel Simon. But I can just tell you, I could just sit and listen to this lady all night long when it comes to planning your future with wealth management. So I know you had some questions for me.
Yes, I do. I want to ask you something. Do you have a won't?
A what?
A won't.
A won't?
That's right, a won't.
Something I won't do?
A won't, yes. Do you have a won't?
Yeah, of course I do.
You do have a won't.
Yes.
Is it written?
No.
Okay. Do you know what a won't
I
really
won't
is?
jump out of an airplane.
I'm
with
going
a
to tell you what a
parachute.
won't really is. Because you don't
Okay.
have a won't.
No.
Who do you not want to get your money?
Oh, that kind of won't.
That kind of won't. In other words, if you don't want somebody to get anything, that won't is the reason why people write a will. You have a will, so people won't get the money that you don't want them to
Right.
get. So the key thing is most people don't have a won't, and most people don't have a will. If they don't have both, let me tell you, it's a problem, because they're going to have their money given equally to maybe certain children that they don't want to get, or certain grandchildren, or nieces and nephews, or siblings, because they die intestate, which means you die without a will. And I'm going through something like that now with one of my clients who was a lovely, lovely person and finally retired after 40 years of working. She turned 65 and she finally had a chance to retire, and she worked a county job, never got married, never had kids, and she died without a will after I told her 100 times to write a will and sent her to an attorney. And
Why do
now
people not
her
do
state's
that?
in probate. It's a terrible thing. You don't want to cause this problem, because now all her siblings are fighting over her money, which is very funny. You got to watch these people. You know,
Hey,
it's wild.
Phyllis,
You know,
Phyllis.
it's sad.
Do you get involved with the family when you're doing estate planning?
Sometimes it depends. It
That
depends.
must be tough.
Usually, let me explain. Most of the time that we meet the family, not the parents and the children, but the rest of the family, is when somebody dies and they're the beneficiary of money that were left to them. That's when I get involved with a lot of families. However, there are some widows and widowers who want their children to understand or know who we are, so they know who to call when the time happens, whether the parent gets very
Right.
sick and needs continued care, or whether the parent dies or whatever. More than often than not, it's always a problem when they inherit money, because if they don't stipulate in their will, or if they don't have a trust, or they don't have direct beneficiaries from insurance policies, or they say, oh, just leave it to my estate. Hello here, you know, how many people how many people do you know? You know?
Right.
They're all going to make a claim against your estate. How many credit cards do you owe? You know what I mean?
Right.
How long do you own your house? How much equity do you have in your house? There's so much stuff to be involved. And so when we do wealth planning, which is part of financial planning. We talk about your will, your direct orders for power of attorney, for health surrogate, for living will. That's the one that, 2 doctors have to state that your brain is dead before they pull the plug. I
Right.
mean, a lot of people don't do that. You need a healthcare surrogate in case you have a stroke and you can't speak. That somebody could speak for you to make sure you get the proper medication and the proper health care that you need. All that, it deals with it. So we try to protect your assets as you're growing, protect your assets as they're, when you get to the point where you're going to create an income. And it's funny because sometimes when you say assets, and you just say protect your assets, okay? So the first part of that word is something that you always told by your parents when you were young. Careful what you're doing and protect your, you know what? Well, you
Yes.
came from a highfalutin family that didn't say any, curse words or off-color words, would say protect your back, watch your back. I mean, but this is the same thing. So I like to try to teach people to live a life of significance, meaning they can create a legacy. How do you want to leave, your legacy to your heirs? How do you want to be remembered? Okay, we do all that. We help you, and we treat you like family, and not the kind of families that stab each other in the back, by the way. But we really
Right.
treat you like good family, that we watch over your money. We make sure that you're going to get your money. We make sure that your money is invested properly. And as the years progress, there's another thing you need to know is the younger you are, the more aggressive you need to be. And as you age, you start going towards the conservative mode till you get to your 60s, and you go to conservative to moderate, all right? And then later 60s, more on a conservative note. A lot of people I know that are in the 90s have such penny stocks. They have crazy stuff out there. And I said, why are you doing this? Well, they like the thrill of the gamble. Well,
I see an ad all the
it's
time.
the thrill of a gamble that a lot of people, older people today have, because they want to maybe do it at the last leg of their life. I don't know. The majority of them don't want to gamble their money. They want to make sure that they have the money if I get sick, if I die. So what we try to do is to plan, protect their money, protect their assets, protect their family, protect them from themselves, really. Because most people...
Phyllis, I see so many ads about these Bitcoins. Give us $300, we'll turn it into 3,000.
in Bitcoin,
Give us
right?
the-
Everybody wants to sell Bitcoins. You can all buy it. Go ahead, go buy it. Buy it. All right? And when the dollar,
I
when
got
there's
it.
no more dollars, when there are no more dollars, and I'm saying this on the air, a lot of people made a ton of money in Bitcoin. And those were the smart ones that got out already. But when there are no more dollars and those Bitcoins might buy you something, you'll be lucky. But if you have an opportunity, years ago, I sat with a person, I'll go back, it was about 1988. I sat with this executive from IBM. And I said to them, you have an opportunity here to get a good life insurance policy, get a good disability policy. Oh, the company gives me a disability policy. I said, yeah, the company gives you a disability policy, but it's fully taxable. And they only give you 50% of your salary, and it only goes to a max of $5,000, and you make $250,000 a year. So you're going to tell me that $5,000 is going to be more than enough for you if you're making $250
Right.
now? I said, your life insurance, they give you $1 million a term. What's $1 million if you make $250,000 a year? That's 4 years of your salary. You die, your family's up, creek. So what do you do? So I sat and I explained all this stuff to him. You know what he said
Phyllis,
to me? Yeah.
this is the third text we've gotten during your show. They want to know What is your feeling on precious metals with the dollar being devalued?
Well, according to today, the dollar was very strong and gold went down. So tell me about it. What are my feelings? Every day things change. The dollar is still there. No matter how you look at it, the dollar will always be there. Okay? Because America is founded on money. They need paper money. American people like to hold paper money. They like to even hold coins. When they wanted to stop minting the coin, the people reneged. They kept all their pennies. Why do you think there are millions of people that save all those stupid copper pennies when they're not even the full, real copper anymore? Okay?
Yeah.
So they like to hold this because it gives them a feeling of security. So the dollar gets devalued. So guess what? If once it's devalued, don't go traveling out of the country. Wait until the dollar gets stronger, and then go buy their dollars for less money. You know, the American people are very, very spoiled. But let's get everybody back to work, America. You have an opportunity to get jobs. They don't want to work. They're getting money from the government. They're giving them tipping checks. They're giving them unemployment. It's going to end. Find a job.
Yeah.
Go to work. Take 10% of whatever you make. I tell my grandchildren this all the time. And they do, and they listen. You make $100, put away $10. I don't care if that empty peanut butter jar that you throw it in a drawer in the kitchen, that you never open that drawer except for something that you can't find, but you always throw everything in that drawer. And do that every week with that. From every $100, put $10 away. So if you got $500, put $50 away. Trust me, at the end of 1 year, you'll have a nice chunk of change. That might be a vacation for you. It might be the start of a nice savings account. It might be the start of buying a couple of nice mutual funds. Whatever it is, it's teaching you how to pay yourself first before you give everybody money. So the dollar's devaluing. Go ahead.
You know what I like hearing you explain, and we have an older audience, about long-term care.
Oh, man. Okay. Let me tell you, American people, the federal government will not pay for your long-term care. And as much as they said they were going to do it in the ACA Act when they passed that, horrible health insurance for the American people. Okay? Because what it really is if you're sick for at least 5 years and you need to go to a nursing home, you have to be Medicaid qualified and broke so they can put you in one. And that's going to be your long-term care. And when you
gotta be
realize
broke.
what I'm telling you is the truth. Now, the second thing is a lot of companies sold a ton of this stuff from the 80s to last year. And a lot of some companies went out of business. But they had that money sitting in a reserve. And they kept that money where they have what they call lifestyle administrators watching those monies. So when somebody does go into claim, they have the money to pay that person. Because basically the state guarantees all insurance companies that have sell insurance in a state up to a certain liability amount, which is Florida's $300,000. They must pay out. With that being said, there were a lot of companies back in the 80s and the 90s. I sold a lot of long-term care, and so glad I did, because those that needed it had it. So glad I did, because trust me. And then there are some that never used it, and I got a couple of clients that are 97 years old. And they were the first ones I sold long-term care to. They were in their 60s. They never needed it.
Wow.
Now they're cursing that they paid for all those years. They said, hey,
Yeah, but
you
don't
might
you
need
think they
it
might
yet.
have
You might need it yet. Because, you know, there's a point in your life, you make it to 100 and you're not frail. Lucky you. But if you're frail, that long-term care will come in, because then you won't be able to be alone. So long-term care is a necessary thing to have, and if you're healthy enough. And there's only a few companies offering them. We offer those companies. Now, there are some people that are very healthy, don't think that they need long-term care. I have another alternative for them. You want to leave a legacy to your family? Take out money from your IRA. Let's invest it in a life insurance policy that has a long-term care rider. And then if you never use long-term care, you leave your family a ton of tax-free money instead of the money from the IRA. The IRA is going to be fully taxable, and they got to use up the money in 10 years. I have all kinds of ideas, all kinds of wonderful things that I can help you with. You just have to learn to pick up a phone and call 954-599-1950. Ask for Dan Simon or Phyllis Simon. That's all you have to do. Because we can teach you how to live a life of significance. We can teach you how to leave a legacy. And we can teach you how your investments and your insurance will do very well. And get to a point where you don't even have to pay for it. Younger ones wouldn't even have to pay for insurance when they get older. So we discussed.
What is,
yes?
Phyllis, what is risk management?
Risk management is how much risk you're willing to take when you invest money or when you grow a family. So let's talk about risk management. Risk management covers insurances. So you have a job, you're making $100,000 a year. You have a basic life insurance policy on the company gives you $50,000. You can buy 2 times your salary, so you buy another $200,000 for 6 cents a month. Cheap. Costs nothing.
Wow.
But you're young. You're young. So you get it. But as you age, that 6 cents becomes 50 cents, $1.25, $2.50.
Right.
Each year it goes up. Each age group, actually, every 5 years on group insurance. Now, the other part is you leave your job. Average guy doesn't stay on the job more than 5 years anymore. Average homeowners in a house less than 7 years. So people are constantly
Is that right?
changing yeah.
Wow.
People are constantly changing things. So they're constantly changing. So they leave their company. They have a 401k. They're going to roll it over to the new company that has a 401k, or they're going to roll it over to an IRA. Most people roll it to an IRA. Why? Because they don't know how they're going to do it, the new company, and they don't know when they're going to be eligible for their new 401k. Usually it takes a year of employment before they let you come on board. So now, at this point, it's your risk management. Do you have enough insurance that if you died last night and you have a 2 and a 4-year-old at home, how is that 2 and 4-year-old going to be able to go to college if you wanted them, or even go to a trade school? Or how is your wife going to pay off the house?
Right.
How is she going to pay all the credit card debt that both your names are on, all the credit cards, which is something that we teach you what to do when we do your planning, when we sit with you. You know, there's a lot of things that people don't realize that they don't do right. Oh, they call their attorneys. Their attorneys tell them one thing. Their accountants tell them something else. The accountant trying to give you a nice black bottom line. Don't pay taxes. Try to show that you don't owe taxes. So you cut your nose to spite your face because you, especially if those of you that have your own businesses and write off everything that you can possibly think of, because your Social Security check will be next to nothing then, because you're not contributing enough. And for those of you that work for a company that pays half your Social Security and you pay the other half. So risk management has a lot to do with planning your risk,
Wow.
how much risk you're willing to gamble with, and how you invest money is also risk. Next question.
Well, we got to go to break, and when we
Okay.
come back, I want to
Call
talk
us.
to you about taxes a little bit.
Okay.
What's going on with the 401ks? I've got some questions for you there.
Okay.
But this is the Simon Group USA. This is Phyllis Simon, and as you can see, she knows what she's talking about, and she's been around. I hate to say this.
I've been
Been
around
around
the
a
block.
long time.
I've been
She's been
around
around
the
a
block
long
more than
time.
twice.
But that is good, though. I mean,
Huh?
so many people out there. Anyway, let's go to break. When we come back, we'll have more with the Simon Group USA.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Steve O with the Ask the Experts radio show. At the Simon Group, their goal is to actively help families, individuals, and business owners build their financial freedom. They have the skills, knowledge, and experience required to help meet the client's established goals. They understand their clients want a comfortable retirement, but that means different things to different people. And there are other goals that they can emerge along the way, from planning for a child's education to planning for a managing income in retirement. That's why the Simon Group offers a range of financial strategies and solutions to help in every step of the way. They work with you to gain confidence and stay flexible and prepared for your financial future. The Simon Group serves their clients in estate and investment solutions, insurance protection, income, stocks and bonds, retirement investments, and insurance. Contact the Simon Group for free financial planning appointment today at 954-599-1950. That's 954-599-1950.
You are listening to the Ask the Experts show with host Steve-O. We will be right back with more experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every Thursday from 6 p.m. Now, get ready for more Ask the Experts.
Hey.
And we are back. I am Steve O, the host of the show for Ask the Experts. We have shows in Philadelphia, Tampa, Dallas, Houston, and of course here in South Florida. And my favorite is such a sweetheart,
Thank you.
Phyllis Simon. She's with us tonight. We're talking about wealth management. And Phyllis, if someone wanted to make a loan from their 401k, do you suggest they do that or not?
Well, first of all, it depends on why they need a loan. That's number
Okay.
one. Number two is a lot of people default on loans. But let's use an example. Young couple went to work. They both have 401ks, and they both were able to really save quite a bit of money in it. And they have an opportunity to buy their first home. They need $20,000 for a down payment. He can take 10 from his according to his company. She could take 10 from hers according to her company. And they can borrow against it. Now, what people don't realize is that they should have to pay these loans back starting with the next pay period right
Okay.
away. And it comes out on an after-tax basis paying back the loan, not on a before-tax basis. Okay? So therefore, then the loan was always, because otherwise they would have to pay tax on the loan, and they don't.
Right.
Okay, so now they take this money out. But what a lot of people go, oh, you could pay this off in 15 years. No. That's the worst thing you should ever do. You pay it off in 5 years or less. You get the numbers from your administrator, and you find out. And if you have to struggle a little bit to pay that loan off in 5 years or less, and there's a reason for it. Number one, you could lose your job. If you lose your job and you can't pay the loan off right away in a lump sum, after you lose your job, that means you default on the loan, and then you have to pay taxes on it right away.
Gotcha.
That's number one. As I said before, most people don't stay on the job more than 5 to 7 years. That's it, gone. But you got your new house, you bought your first home, okay? And you do have to pay taxes on that money if you renege on the loan. Now, there's only one place that you can take money to buy a new house, all right? And that has to do with the IRA rules, IRAs, which people don't understand what a regular IRA is, a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, a simple IRA, a SEP IRA, 401k, 403b, and a 457, and sometimes a 401a. People don't understand what all these numbers mean, but they have it
Right.
at work, depending on who they work for. So the other thing is you can borrow up to $10,000 for your first home from a Roth IRA, even though you're under 59 and a half. Problem, you had to have that money in there at least for 5 years minimum.
Oh, okay.
So you could take the money out, you're not going to borrow it. You're going to just take it out and not pay taxes on it or penalties because you're buying your first home. because you cannot borrow on any IRAs. You can only borrow from 401ks, 403bs, 457, 401a. Those are the only places you can borrow money from. You can't borrow from a simple IRA, SEP IRA, regular IRA, traditional IRA, Roth IRA. You can't borrow money at all. And any advisor that tells you you can, I would suggest you look for another one or go to the IRS and sit down with them and let them talk to you and explain all the tax rules. Because taxation is a very, very tricky thing. President Trump tried to make it easier for everybody by just coming up with the basic, try to do a one-pager. But, of course, we have a Congress and a Senate that doesn't like one-pagers. They want the more convoluted it is, it is easier for them. That's why they don't pay taxes. Now, that's something that you will need to know. Do you have another question you want to ask me before I tell
Yeah, I
you?
do. What is, with Biden being in now, and all we hear about are taxes are going to go up, what do you see for the future?
Well, taxes are going to have to go up. Why? Why do taxes have to go up? Listen, everybody, do you see the handwriting on the wall? Where's all this? How are we going to pay back all this money that we owe and all the interest on these loans? I mean,
Right.
taking all this money, what are we going to do? I mean, you got to pay it back. Well, where are we going to get the money from? Are we going to print more money to devalue the dollar? Or we're going to
Right.
tax the American people, those that are fortunate enough to go to work. But wait a minute, why should they go to work when they're getting unemployment and they're getting federal stipend? I don't have to go to work, and they're going to give me food stamps, and they give me a free phone. Why should I have free health care? Why should I go to work? That's a socialist way of thinking. What happened to the people that used to take pride in what they did? What happened to the parent that should have taught their children about taking pride in what you do and understand what the financial world really is, and that capitalism is a wonderful way to live because you have the opportunity to be whatever you want to be. It's you that does the hard work. It's you that builds your business up, whether you're a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, a store owner, an insurance person, a financial professional, a banker, doesn't matter. Whether you're a welder, you're a drywall person, a construction person, it doesn't matter. Auto worker, every kind of field, a builder of furniture, of which they basically, a designer of clothing, a sewer of clothing, they basically gave all this stuff away to foreign countries that they're making millions and millions and billions and billions. B with the B and T with the T.
Yes.
Trillions and billions. While we still have a very large population of homeless people, people that are starving, and a welfare system that is beyond broke. It is horrid. And a taxation system that's beyond the worst. When all they had to do across the whole board is just tax everybody at 10%. Everybody pays the same 10%. Whether you make $100 or you make $1 million, 10%, because they're still going to get $100,000 out of the $1 million guy.
No write-offs.
Now,
No write-offs.
you asked about taxes. Something very, very interesting. People don't understand. Why would people like Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, let's see, who's the other one? Elon Musk, all these people, why they don't pay, the richest people in the United States, why they don't pay taxes? It boggles the middle income American person's mind. They're such rich people, why don't they pay taxes? I'll explain why, people. The tax laws say if you borrow money against a business, you pay just interest. And that just interest that you pay is deductible because it's from a business and it's for a business, but it's coming from a business. You can deduct that interest that you pay back from your tax return. Not an individual. You can't deduct individual interest, but business you can. So, Warren Buffett, you think he gets, remember the word income tax? INCOME-TAX? That means for income that you get. Now, the average people in the United States that work get wages that's called income, and they take out taxes from that. That's income tax, and they take some for Social Security. Okay.
Right.
Well, these guys, they don't get an income. They don't get wages. They don't take wages. They borrow the money. So they get
Oh,
all
so they
this
don't
money
pay
to
taxes.
maintain their lifestyle. They pay interest back. And that comes off their tax returns of all their investments and the capital gains and dividends that they get from all their investments, so they don't have to pay any taxes. And when you all get this through your head, then you'll understand why the whole tax system should be overhauled. But you guys all think the richest people will tax them. They're never going to pay because there's
And
one
there's not enough
loophole
rich people
is
to
the,
pay.
is the interest. They're able to write off. So
Yes.
Warren Buffett takes $30 million out, and it's costing him 3% on it, which is X amount. Guess what? He's going to pay nothing.
Right.
And then, on top of it all, he gives charity. Tremendous donation to charity. They all do. They're making charities have enough money to take care of those people out there that are indigent, that have no money. And that's another thing the American people don't understand. So if they don't understand this, why don't they understand it? Because they can't penetrate in their mind that all this money is going, it's still coming out back to the people. They don't understand it's coming back to the people. And the idea was that American corporations have a lower tax bracket so we can create more jobs in this country for the people to work. Oh, but if they go overseas, I'm going to tax them at 15%. That's what Biden says. They don't give a damn if they're going to get taxed at 15%.
Right.
They're paying 50% lower in wages. So they don't care if they're going to pay 15%. It's still better than costing them 50%. And that's where the problem is that the American people don't understand how this country really runs. And that's what our forefathers wanted. And then you get all these foreigners that come here, and they want to change it. Why do they want to change it? Well, they want it like their free stuff in their country. If it was so great in your country, why'd you come here? Go back to where you came from. That's all.
Exactly.
Because if it was so great there, so you need to understand. So when I help somebody and I sit down with them and I say, "You're making $100,000 a year. You got $25,000 worth of group term insurance to cover a burial benefit, and what's your wife going to do with those 2 kids or 4 kids? Or some of them are fortunate enough to have 5 of them that went off on the bender all year with the COVID virus." Because they didn't know how to handle their children, because they're not used to it, because they're both used to being at work and their kids are being taken care of by their teachers.
Right.
Because the problem is everybody wants to live high on the hog. Everybody wants a van. Everybody wants an SUV. Everybody wants to go away on vacation. Everybody wants a big house. That's want. But what about real need? And I'm here on a bandwagon, and I'm giving a sermon, Steve, but, this is just truth. You got long-term care.
Well, you see
got
it every
life
day.
insurance, you got disability insurance, you got health insurance, you got IRAs, you got bank savings. There's so many things that we sit and cover. And I ask you all, please, stop being so negative with your own self. Stop putting it off for another day. Call me. Consultation's free. I don't charge to talk to you. Area code 954-599-1950. And we are the Simon Group, been around a long time. We love our clients. Now, you can come in here and hate my guts. Fine, great. You don't like what I have to present to you? Fine. You think I'm telling you, giving you a load of you-know-what, B-U-L-L? I'm sorry. I tell you the truth. I tell you where it's at. A lot of people can't handle the truth. It's like that guy, Jack Nicholson, in All the King's Men.
Yes.
It was.
Right.
Why I didn't tell you? Because you can't handle the truth. And that's the same thing. My son says the same thing. My mother, she's a straight shooter. She'll tell you the way it is.
You are.
You want to be schmoozed? You want to have somebody giving you a smooth transition? Understand, my mother's going to tell you the way it is and the way it will be if you don't
do.
do something. And that's the way it have to be. Because guess what? It'll never come back and bite me in the you-know-what or smack me in the face that I did something bad and hurt somebody, or that I could be sued for not telling them what they should have done. Because that has happened. And I've seen it happen to other people in my business 30 years ago, by not offering the right products or telling them best of friends because the guy was too busy. I have to sell a life policy for this week. Instead of saying, hey, my buddy, you got a job that entails a little bit of risk. Maybe you should get a disability policy. And then the buddy ends up getting hurt and can never work again in his life. And ended up suing his buddy. That's what happened.
Wow.
Wow, it's right. Because you got to do the right thing. You can't just be a product pusher. Product pushers remind me of the old days when we had what we used to call pedal pushers. They used to pedal stuff. They used to ride a bike. They'd have a 3-wheel bike with a little thing in the front of them, and all through the city of New York and in Brooklyn, didn't matter where you came from. And they had these guys selling something out of this little cart, this little thing. It could be ice cream, it could be, but most of the time, it could be rigs, it could be something. And they were pushers, they were pedal pushers. And I have to tell you that you don't want to be one of those. You don't want to be somebody that's a bag lady in public that's 65, 70 years of age because your husband didn't have the insight to make sure there was enough life insurance. I've been thrown out of people's houses for telling the men that they didn't love their family enough.
Good for you.
That. It's true, though. I was telling Freddie earlier, I said some Italian guy threw me out of his house, and he gave me the curse with his hands, you know. He told me where to go, under the chin with his hands, you know. Sorry. I am passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about my clients. I feel terrible when they pass. I get involved with the family, but I'm the one that has a clear head. And yes, I do break down. I do break down.
And you can
in
sleep at
private.
night.
Because I have to be strong for their family. And sometimes it just gets to me, you know, and I became very good friends with a lot of my clients. They're wonderful, wonderful people. And it's
Phyllis, last question.
Yeah.
What separates the Simon Group from everyone else?
Well, I like to think that we, as the Simon Group, do take things a little further, one step above. I'm sure every financial advisor out there feels the same way about themselves, that they do, or they go out to the call of action for their client, they go out to all ends, they do everything they possibly can for their client. And then there are some that I know for a fact at 5 o'clock at the end of the day, because they only want to do the business between 9 and 5, they work through a bank, for a brokerage firm, and they're able to walk out the door and not work anymore. For the day, they can go home and clear their head. Mine's a 24/7. And for 34 years on Sunday nights, when I've been disturbed many a times, where unfortunately clients have died, the spouses call me, somebody's gotten sick, they call me. The only time I ask, please do me a favor, don't call me before 7 o'clock in the morning or after midnight, because I do like to sleep for a few hours. All right, my sleeping habits are really lousy since my husband himself passed away 4 years ago. So what separates us is that we have a lot of empathy for people, but we tell them the way it is. I don't push a product that I have to meet up with a company's
Give everybody, here's our music. Give everybody the phone number.
Area code 954-599-1950. Again, the Simon Group, 954-599-1950. I just want to say to everybody, I love being on the show the past 2 years.
You're on fire tonight.
Huh?
You're on fire
Tonight's the
tonight.
last night I'll be actually speaking on the radio, unless I'm invited back another time. But you'll be seeing our ads on television. Look during
Yeah.
the news broadcast. You'll hear us on TV ads. But keep our phone number. You can look us up on the
Please.
internet, the Simon Group USA. You'll get our phone numbers. We're local. We're here in Fort Lauderdale. We have clients all over the United States, and it just worked out that way. I have a lot of clients in California, Nevada, the North. Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Phyllis.
I'm waving goodbye
Bye,
to all of
everyone.
you. It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Ask the Expert Show, featuring interviews with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Call our office at 888-574-6999 to become one of our experts on the show. And tune in again next week for more Ask the Experts with Steve-O.